So we are Jane and Stephanie of the Nourishing Gurus, and we help women over 50 gain confidence knowing they can eat right and feel good in their body in their second half. And today we're talking about how to lower sugar in the diet with 12 of our best tips because honestly, as much as we love our sweets, reducing sugar is so important for our health. From our hearts, our brains, our bones, sugar literally affects every system and organ in the body. And these are things that we have to pay even more attention to now at this stage in our lives. We have another video on why sugar is so detrimental, so we're not going to get into the weeds with that in this video, but if you need more convincing, definitely check out that video next. So for today, we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, practical tips for how to reduce sugar in your diet in a way that is sustainable and doesn't leave you feeling deprived. That's the key. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified of future videos so you get first dibs on our newest content. Okay, who's ready for the 12 tips? Let's dive into number one. Number one is to avoid black and white thinking. Okay, anytime you say never or I'm going to completely avoid, think about it. You've probably done this in the past and you only set yourself up for deprivation, the deprivation mindset. It always backfires. So we do not want you to go down that road. We're going to talk about sane, realistic approaches in the next 11 tips. So first step is ditch the black and white thinking. Okay, the second tip is to wean down. Science has proven that our taste buds change. You have to give them the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to give the example of dark chocolate, which is one of my favorites. And Stephanie and I both eat dark chocolate. We have trained our taste buds to get used to much higher cacao content, so between 80 and 90%. That did not happen overnight. So you train your taste buds. You start with a higher sugar chocolate bar and 50%, 55%, and then every couple of weeks you just move up to a higher cocoa content until you eventually adjust it. Then if you go back to the sweeter chocolate, you'll totally notice the difference and it'll taste too sweet to you. Another example is sugar cubes in coffee. If you're putting 3 sugar teaspoons in your coffee, then you take a couple weeks, go down to 2 teaspoons, a couple weeks later, move down to 1 teaspoon. And then if you go back to a full 3 teaspoons, you're going to absolutely notice the difference. So again, a slow wean so you can reset your taste buds. That is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is please avoid artificial sweeteners. Okay, not only do they affect the precious microbiome, your good bacteria, and they are filled with a lot of chemicals. We don't really know the long-term effects of all the artificial sweeteners. They keep the taste of sugar alive in your system, in your taste buds. Again, so we just talked about weaning down. And if anything, artificial sweeteners are even sweeter than sugar. So it doesn't allow you to reset those taste buds, and it can worsen cravings. It can also be addicting. Studies have shown, again, just like sugar can be addicting, so can artificial sweeteners. So stick with natural sweeteners, which we're going to get to in another tip, and just wean down so the taste buds can adjust.
Okay, so pretty obvious we really don't like those artificial sweeteners. But moving on with tip number 4, watch the healthier sweeteners. So we use healthier sweeteners in a lot of our recipes. We do use occasional honey and maple syrup, maybe even molasses, but those can affect blood sugar, so you don't want to have too much of it. If you're looking at a recipe and it might be from a place that's not as sugar conscious, try cutting the amount of sugar in the recipe in half and see how that goes. Just taste it. You can always add more, but certainly can't take it out. And that will help adjust your taste buds as well. And we also use sweeteners such as stevia, monk fruit, yacon syrup, which don't affect your blood sugar as much, but again, they're going to keep your taste buds still looking for that sweet taste, right? So you want to adjust it and use less. Moving on to tip number 5, know where sugar lurks. Make sure you're not getting hidden sugar in your diet. If you want something sweet and you know it has sugar in it and you're going for it, that's one thing. But if you don't want to be getting sugar when you don't know you're getting it, right? So get used to checking the ingredients and the nutrition facts on it. Look for how many grams of added sugars are added to things. So 1 teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams. So if something has 12 grams of sugar, you're getting 3 teaspoons in it. So that's a really important fact to know and think about as you're shopping. Also, be wary of healthy sounding foods. We see so much sugar added to yogurt or granola or healthy cereals, even the organic ones, and oatmeal. Be sure to check the labels and the nutrition facts on those. We do suggest getting under 25 grams of added sugar per day. And by added sugar, we mean one of these sweeteners. We're not talking about fruit. So just keep that in mind as you're going throughout your day. Also, watch the drinks. You don't want to be drinking sugar, right? If you're drinking things like iced tea or sodas or just some of those other flavored drinks, again, check it out and make sure it doesn't have too much sugar added to it. And this includes healthier drinks like the kefirs and the kombuchas out there. Sometimes we see a lot of sugar added to them. And look at this list here of all the different names for sugars. You might not even recognize it as being a sugar, but when it ends in something like OSE or it has a syrup after it, chances are it's some kind of sugar. So tip number 5 is know where sugar lurks. Tip number 6 is what we call environmental control. And what do I mean by that? Well, if your environment is set up for success, you will have more success. So think about your environment in your kitchen. Are you bringing a lot of sweets home? Maybe cut back on bringing them home. Or if you have to bring them in for maybe another family member, or if it's in there anyway, somebody else brought it in, try to hide it, okay? Put it in the back of the cabinet or the back of the fridge so you don't see it. Make yourself work for it if you're going to get it. Make it less obvious, because so often once you see something, it makes you think about it and you want it, and it's so much easier to just grab it and eat it. So work on that environmental control.
Thank you, Stephanie. Those were awesome tips. Moving on to number 7 is crowd out. Okay, so this tip involves eating more natural whole foods in general. We call it inviting Mother Nature into your kitchen. And this is basically including healthy, colorful foods in abundance. So when you're eating a more whole foods diet, it's going to crowd out more processed and packaged foods. And those processed and packaged foods are more often your sources of added sugar. So not only that, you get better digestion and better absorption with whole foods versus processed foods. So you'll have better balance of your hormones, better blood sugar balance, less blood sugar swings up and down. So it's so much easier to stay on track with healthy eating and reduce your cravings too. Pay attention specifically to beverages. This was mentioned before. If you're drinking a sugary drink or even a drink, again, with artificial sweeteners, which we're encouraging you to cut down on, use something like herbs, essential oils like lemon or orange or lime to flavor your water. And your taste buds, again, like we talked about taste buds adjusting, get used to that natural flavor, and it's so refreshing. And again, you're weaning down on any added sweet tastes. So number 7, crowd out by eating just a more healthy whole foods diet in general. Number 8 is sort of dovetailing on this, but it's about including naturally sweet foods in your diet. So things like butternut squash, sweet potatoes. My absolute favorite is delicata squash. Stephanie loves coconut flakes. Things like almond butter and peanut butter have a natural sweetness to them. We use pureed squash or pumpkin or applesauce in recipes. This can really, really help cut down on added sugars in recipes and also just bring just a lovely sweetness to the diet in such a natural way. Plus, when you're using more of these whole foods types of ingredients, you get a ton of nutrients from them. You get vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, and that is just a win-win. So we're going to link to some recipes in the description where you can see how we utilize this bringing sweet foods into the diet method. Number 9, again, this kind of goes along with number 8, but specifically we're calling out spices. So using sweet spices, cinnamon, ginger, vanilla, cardamom, we use these all the time in our recipes, specifically things like oatmeal, smoothies, chia pudding, squash, like butternut squash or sweet potatoes. So you can enhance the flavor of the food and really be able to cut down on the sugar content. So using sweet spices is tip number 9.
Yeah, we love our sweet spices and the benefits they provide. All right, tip number 10. Plan ahead and have some healthy, go-to lower sugar snacks. Something like we have a recipe for tahini balls that are protein and that will fill you up and satisfy you at the same time. We'll put a link below. Or even just taking an apple and cutting it up and putting some peanut butter on it. That's so yummy and it's going to hold you for hours. Or one thing I do often is I'll make a smoothie if I really want something, if I feel like I want something sweet, and I'll put some berries in it and maybe a chocolate protein powder or a piece of banana, and it's so much healthier and it's satisfying and it really takes care of that need for sweet. So we will link to several recipes below and you can check those out. All right, number 11, if cravings get control of you too often, work on them. Number 11 is work on your cravings. And it might be emotional or physiological, but you can get control of them. And once you do, you're in the driver's seat. So we have another video on cravings, so we'll link to that one, but it is definitely something to prioritize if you tend to suffer from sugar cravings too often. All right, tip number 12 is kind of killing two birds with one stone, but it's savor, don't splurge. So when you do eat something sweet, just eat slowly and savor every bite of it. Make sure you really enjoy it, because how many times have you had something sweet and then you're like, oh, it's gone already? Oh no, I missed it. So make sure you're really tasting it and get used to having smaller amounts of it, and you'll find that will satisfy you, especially if you're eating it much more slowly. And one thing we do, if we go to, say, an ice cream store, which we do go to once in a while, we'll get the thing that we like the most. We're not looking for the low fat, low calorie, low sugar free dessert. We'll have the real thing, but we'll just have like a kitty cup of it. And again, eat it slowly and really enjoy it. So there you have it, our 12 tips for cutting sugar in your diet. It's so important. Pick at least one of these tips and start working on it if you feel that you have too much sugar on your diet. So if you're a woman over 50 and you're looking for some support on eating a more consistent, healthy diet, check out the link below. We can talk, let's chat. We have a program called Simply Nourished, which is our 3-month program that really gives women the confidence to eat better in the second half. And of course, if you liked anything here, if you learned something new, please like this video, give us a comment, maybe share it, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell so you can get future content. And check out this next video on more information about sugar.